Welcome to episode 6 of season 2, Straighten Your Crown. Today we are going to be talking about keeping your day job while you are starting or planning your business and why it's important for some people to actually keep their day job. So, who wants to take it today, you guys?
No, you can do it.
You talk to them. You talk to them.
You're probably the best in regards to side hustles.
Oh yeah.
You have
a
few side hustles.
Yeah.
You love a good side hustle.
I do love a good side, and I love a good side hustle for everybody else.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, Kristy, what are the benefits of keeping your day job while you are planning on setting up your business?
Yeah, I don't want to answer that question. I want to answer my own question, so that's what we're going to do. We'll come back to your question in a second. I just reckon if you go.
Oh, we really are. Okay.
We're really doing this. Yeah, I'm sure you're.
I love that we have a host, and we're like, fuck the host. We'll do it.
Whatever. There's something else I want to say. No, like if you go back years, everybody was saying, like, everybody, I'm talking about business development groups, they would all say to you, quit your job, just jump out and do it and put everything in with laser focus on your new business. That was always the advice. Like you would always hear that years ago. And now it's the exact opposite.
Give it 100% or don't give it at all.
Yeah.
Like that kind of mentality.
Yeah. And there were a whole heap of people that went and quit their jobs and then their business didn't go so well and they didn't have any support and then they end up going and getting other jobs that weren't as great as the jobs that they previously had, or they end up working in areas that they don't want to do, etc., etc. So yeah, I think that the advice over years from those business development groups that are quite large have changed.
Yeah,
and
100%.
You can see why. So now what was your question again, Maddie?
Well, I can't remember now. It was such a good answer. No, the benefits of actually keeping your job.
Yeah, okay. Well, the obvious benefit is that you've still got an ongoing income coming in whilst you're creating your side hustle, which means that you can create your side hustle properly and you're not completely focused and fixated on money and how much of it comes in, and then you make really poor decisions because everything is based around money and keeping food on the table and paying for your family and mortgages and all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So
we actually tapped base on this in a bad advice episode. Someone was saying, I can't quit my job, but I really want to start a business. And I'm like, cool, perfect. Keep that job. Because I don't think people realize if you do it smart, if you set up business smart, it isn't going to be 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week. It will be something that you can slot into your everyday, especially in the development stage. You know what I mean? Even with marketing, there's a lot of things that like you can't rush. So like you would put stuff up, but then you've got to wait 7 days to see if that works.
And A/B test it, and that's right. So
there's a lot of like testing and like stop and starting kind of work behind the scenes. So even if you were to quit your day job, you're going to be bored because there generally just isn't enough work for someone to be in that position full time. So there's that. The second thing is, like you said, it's not worth the financial hardship of having one income.
You're just putting such pressure on yourself in that first instance.
Yeah.
And
because if we go back to our values, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of our big values is to, support women and all the things that make us feel why we want to do this. That all is on the back burner because our number one goal is to make money so we don't crash. And then everything is made incorrectly.
Yeah. And I just think if you don't, there's so much planning and development that goes into starting a business, whether it be, getting your terms and conditions right and getting your privacy policy right and all of that sort of stuff. If you quit your day job, all of that rubbish that is not income earning in the first instance, you're doing all of that. Meanwhile, you don't have any income coming in. Yeah. And that's where you find yourself in a position that...
well, also true, like we worked behind the scenes for 2 months. Before we actually launched the website, and before I jumped on board, Kristy and Sam, that was 6 months.
6 months before that.
Finding suppliers, discussing, it was a long time until we actually turned the website on. So all that time in between, one, it wasn't a full-time job, and two, what
there's
are
no
you
money
going to do
coming
for cash?
in
You can't just not have money for 6 months, can you? Like, it seems a little silly. The other thing is people always think that they should put their number one focus on one thing. I say no.
We're all about multiple income streams.
Yeah, multiple streams is the best. And I actually watch a TikTok about this. I'll say it at least once every episode.
So it's very reliable.
It's very reliable source. Very reliable. So she was saying, I don't understand why people don't want side hustles, because if I had one job and I lost that one job, I have no income. Where I have 5 jobs. if I lose one income, I still got 4.
Well, look at
If I
COVID
lose
last
3.
year, where that first, I know it's still around now, but that was an exact indicator of why it is that you should have multiple income streams.
100%.
Because there's always a backup, and if you lose, these 2 positions, then you've got those other things. Another thing as well, I think that, like for instance, Empress Athleticus for me is my side hustle, and I expect will always be my side hustle. It doesn't mean that I don't love it, but I'm also a lawyer during the day, and most likely will always be a lawyer during the day.
Do you think that it could be something where people think side hustle and think that they're not actually putting in the work?
Yeah.
Like you're not actually committed to it because you're not giving it 300% of your day. Yeah, like it's just a side hustle or whatever, but it could be that like it's a side hustle for now.
Yeah, it could be that you change, it could be the case that I go, oh, okay, well, I won't be a lawyer anymore, and I'll make the side hustle, my actual career. Yeah. Or it could be that I say, no, I'm going to be a lawyer forever. But, there's this business that I really love and care about and I still want to build, but it just doesn't require 40 hours attention of my week. And I don't want it to require 40 hours attention
And think about it too, just as a side note, imagine if we did require Kristy for 40 hours a week being
How
a lawyer
annoying
for
would I
us.
be to you?
No, but not like that. But like, we must be really fucked up if we need a lawyer full time. Like, imagine that. Like, there's other obviously jobs in our business that, we do kind of need full time or at least
and I do all
part-time.
the HR stuff. Imagine the poor people that would have to have reviews every single week.
Like, we need her to stay busy, Like, she's like, another review? I know we did one yesterday, but I want another one. How you
firing? Who's up for that?
But even too, like, the customer service stuff, like, all the stuff that happens in the back end, there's just not enough of it until you
not
get
initially,
to... No, not initially. And that's even us. Like, we're at that point now where we're not startup anymore, you know what I mean? Like, we do have a decent amount of work. And even now, we still wouldn't have enough work to have all of the heads that we have working as a full-time job.
Or teams of people as full-time
teams. So we
jobs
have me, marketing, we have you, lawyer, customer service, HR, we have James, operations, we have distribution, we have Sam, accounting, and even accounting and, what was the other one that sends to?
Well, he does the cutting.
No, I know that's cutting. That's the thing, like there's not enough full-time work for even our accountant, so we get Sam to cut, and we do It's pretty much just wear as many hats as possible.
That's right. And then I don't do marketing, but here I am having this conversation with you. So inadvertently we end up doing marketing, and I'm definitely not a model either, but I somehow end up...
Somehow we make me do that too. We're very busy with wearing multiple hats. But I think that's the biggest thing. I think people have a different expectation in regards to what's actually needed. And if you are currently in a position where you feel like you're working 60 hours a week in your side hustle and you're not making the money that you're wanting to make, or it's super stressful, then maybe you need to flip some things around. Look at your marketing, look at everything that you're doing, because it shouldn't be like that.
Shouldn't be that hard.
It shouldn't be that hard.
And you shouldn't dislike it as well.
You shouldn't be putting that much pressure on yourself either, because as soon as you start putting that much pressure on yourself and on the business, it comes across as desperate, and then people kind of get this weird vibe towards you. Yeah. So I think staying tuned and learning some more marketing tips would be a great one if you are feeling like you're really swamped down with everything that you've got
and
going
we're
on.
going to do some marketing. Well, you're going to do some marketing. I'm going to sit here.
We're going to talk about marketing.
I don't know my marketing tips yet. I maybe should think about them.
That's a future one.
But it shouldn't be like that. And I think people have a very different perspective on business. And like you said, back in the day, people used to talk about business. Quit your job and just take it full time and run it. It's going to be so hard.
And everything to do with business changes every now and again. It was like, in the 50s, the man had to go out and he had to work his full-time job, and the woman had to stay at home. And then the 60s and the 70s come in, and the women then started to go to work. And and every so often we have that change where we go, okay, that wasn't working. Let's see what's working. Like, let's see what else we could do to make it work. And I think the side hustle thing and the multiple income streams, that's taken over now, and that idea has gotten into everybody's head, and everybody's trying it now. So, which is
So I think with side hustles, I think it would just be mindful of what you're going to get yourself into, because if you didn't have the money to throw at it, and you didn't have money to pay for staff or even invest in stuff.
Fees and stuff that
Yeah, e-commerce
Yeah.
is a really great way to start, and I think that's what's changed up the game the most, is because e-commerce is jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Another thing, like I suppose as well, depending what it is that you're planning to do as your side hustle, you're right. If you've got high rents or shopping centre rents, that's another reason to keep your day job, because if you want to be able to, but yeah, I suppose you've got to be careful and selective of what your side hustle is as well for that reason, because otherwise it's
definitely
difficult to build and grow.
Yeah, that would probably be that one, like side hustles are great, but then obviously taking a really practical approach to a side hustle. So doing something that you could do from home on a weekend, great place to start. Jumping full feet into a retail space in Westfield, like maybe not.
It just takes it from a side hustle to a full-time job, doesn't it? And if that's not what we're wanting to do, then don't do it. Like e-commerce is definitely something that has really shaken up the game and like changed everything up. So I definitely think it's a good place to start. Plus Shopify, it's so easy. It's so easy to set up a shop. They have all the things available. I think it's like $20 a month to have a Shopify shop. And then the themes are like $180, and that's a one-time fee. The themes are so smart.
You can even have themes that don't cost you anything if you want to.
You can have free ones. There's a few free ones in there. In regards to marketing, if you've never done marketing in your life, you've never made a banner in your life, you have no friggin' idea what to do, Canva is friggin' fantastic because they have free templates on there. You literally type in your website theme and then bam, shapam, you've got all these templates. You just throw your pictures in there. Like, it is so smart these days. Like, there is so much technology out there to help people who don't have the skill set to be able to, I've never done that before. Don't worry about it. If you've never done it before, that's fine.
YouTube and TikTok will tell you how to do it.
No, TikTok will show you everything.
It'll take you from 0 to 100 very quickly.
That's literally how James set up his business. He literally just watched TikTok videos after TikTok videos, and there's all these different apps you can get and all these different things you can get, and it just blows your mind of possibilities out there. But
and how well is Gorilla Sunglasses going now?
Doing great.
So
it's awesome.
good.
Doing great. Gorilla Sunglasses is going great. Another plug, James. You earned me a tea. But yeah, I think it's super important to kind of think about the side hustles that you are wanting to set up, but don't live in the world of I'll do it when. I'll get there when, or just when I have this, then I might think about doing it.
Then you'll be James, who 3 years ago made that note, I want to do Gorilla Sunny. And he was like, oh yeah, but I just wanna, and like he could have been this successful and have his own beautiful little baby. But that's that whole thing. Like, don't just wait until something else is going to happen, because when that thing happens, there's going to be another thing that you're going to have to wait for. So just
work out what you want to do, and then work out what your next best step is, and take it.
Cool. And maybe we might put some links in the show notes of those things that you can go and have a look at.
Like Gorilla Sunnies.
Not Gorilla Sunnies. Empress Athleticus.
I'm surprised there are new James in the back, like, thank you. So Canva, Shopify, all those little different things.
Like maybe some tools that you guys can have a look at if you are looking. So like even on my Facebook, I think over the weekend there was like 2 or 3 people that were like, hey, look, I'm gonna start this, or I'm on groups, and there's always people that are like, oh, hey, would you go and give me a like or something? And if we can help with those people.
100%.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.